Last time I was here in this chair, I talked about the Falcons drafting Michael Penix Jr. with the 8th overall pick. My opinions have changed. I still think it's a dumb pick, but I rock with it now. Welcome to State of the A, episode 14. We're on now. Last night, the Atlanta Falcons released their 2024 schedule. Today, we're going through it. It started in week 1. Arthur Smith and the Pittsburgh Steelers come to town. Week 1. That's going to be a win for the Atlanta Falcons. I don't think there's any question about that. I think the Steelers are not going to have it going on early on in the year. I think they're going to get really better as the season goes on. But I think that early on in the year, for these first 3, 4, 5 games of the season, they are going to struggle. And that includes walking into Mercedes-Benz Stadium and trying to get a win, which everybody knows is a really hard thing to do in this league. But then we go on the road, Monday Night Football, and take on the Philadelphia Eagles. That's a loss. I don't think anyone... I think the first 3 games are, without a doubt, win, loss, loss. So you have Kansas City coming into town on Sunday Night Football in week 3. I think that when you look at these 2 games, you have 2 teams that we're playing 2 teams that have made it to the Super Bowl in the last 2 years. So I don't think there's any question we're going to follow those 2 games. So now the Falcons, we're 1-2, right? Panic button is hit. We're all panicking. Is this team as good as we think they are? Well, lucky for us, we have a nice little bit of good games. We're getting a win at home against that team from the Bayou. I don't think there's any question about that. Again, they have to walk Mercedes-Benz Stadium. I think that Mercedes-Benz Stadium has one of the best home field advantages in the NFL. 73,000 fans all screaming at the top of their lungs. There's no way. The only problem is that the team prices out all of the really competitive fans with their ticket pricing. But if people save up, that game's going to be packed. Ben's will be packed, and that's going to be a win for the Atlanta Falcons. Then on Thursday Night Football, the Falcons take on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's a win. I think that the main reason the Falcons lost that game to the Bucs last year was because of Desmond Ridder. And as we all know, Desmond Ridder has been sent to the Shadow Realm, that is Arizona, in exchange for Rondale Moore. So let me go pull up the stats from the home game against Tampa last year. That's the wrong game. Here they are. So yeah, against Tampa last year, I mean, Koo missed a couple field goals. I think he won't have that problem again this year. I think Koo will get it together a lot earlier on. But yeah, I forgot Ridder actually played pretty decent that game. I think he had a couple fumbles though, because it's Desmond Ridder, and why wouldn't he? Yep, he did have a fumble, 2 fumbles actually. So yeah, that's a win. At Carolina in week 6, that's a win. Versus Seattle, that's going to be a tough game. Seattle is a really, really good team. I think that our defense gets the job done and gets the win at home that week. So now the Falcons are 5-2 going into week 8 against Tampa. I think on the road at Tampa, we're going to fall. I think that the Thursday night game at home is going to be close. I think we'll lose in Tampa because of the advances that Tampa has at home. And then I think we will lose to Dallas at home. They're the fucking Cowboys. They're going to be good. And then in week 10, you go on the road and play the Saints. And I think we lose that game too, because there's something different about trying to go into Caesars Superdome and trying to win a football game. That is, I think, one of the hardest things in sports. In sports, not just the NFL, in sports, going into Caesars Superdome trying to win a game. So that's going to be a loss. And then Denver, we're on a 3-game losing streak. I think we continue that in Denver, low-key. So that'll put us under 500 going into the bye week. But I really, really like the back end of that schedule. We are at this point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're 5-6 going into the bye week. Probably hovering around that second, third range in the NFC South. And looking at that back end of schedule, you have versus Los Angeles, you have at Minnesota, you have at Vegas on Monday Night Football, you have versus New York, you have at Washington, then you have versus Carolina. I think these are all wins except for that Washington game. See, I think we beat the Chargers at home. I think we go on the road and we beat Minnesota. And then we go on the road and we beat Vegas. Then we come back home and beat the Giants. And then I think you lose to the Commanders because you're going into FedEx Field. And something terrible is going to happen there. I can already predict it. Something really bad is going to happen there. And then we beat Carolina. So, final prediction from me. Initial predictions. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10-7 predictions next year. I'll probably do one a lot closer to the NFL season because things can change, in training camp. We don't know how these guys are going to mesh together. I've seen some clips of the Falcons in their rookie minicamp, their offseason programs. They look really, really good. We're going to go in depth into this more as the offseason goes on. A lot more content coming for the State of the A podcast. Hope you all enjoyed this 14th episode, and we will see you guys later with a brand new episode.